Part 2, Chapter 7, Bicorporeity and Transfiguration, apparitions of the spirit of persons in the flesh, such as doubles, saints, transfiguration, and invisibility. So, first I'd like to say persons in the flesh. So, we are able to dream of people who are still living, as well as channel the spirits of the living, of people that are alive, because we just happen to have a physical body that we're attached to, but we are still spirits. We just happen to have a physical body. Seeing somebody is still within the category of a visual manifestation. Especially during sleep, because we're loosened from our body. The spirit, whether a man be alive or dead, possesses at all times our perispirit, which is again our semi-material envelope, our energy body, through which it may acquire both visibility and tangibility. There's an example given that the wife of a friend of ours frequently saw entering her chamber during the night, whether she had a light or not. So the apparition or the energy body, or you can say the astral or dream body, it has energy or has its own light. A woman who sold fruit in her neighborhood, whom she knew by sight, but whom she had never spoken to. The apparition terrified her because at the time she knew nothing of spiritism, and because it frequently reoccurred. The fruit seller was not only incarnated when these apparitions took place, but was probably in bed asleep at the moment of their occurrence. While her material body was at home, her spirit and her fluidic body were in the other lady's room, moved by what motive we cannot say. In which case, a spiritist acquainted with the subject of apparitions would have asked the visitant what they wanted. Each time the apparition occurred, it vanished without her knowing how, and after each disappearance she assured herself that all the doors were perfectly closed and locked and no one could have entered the room. A precaution which proved to her that she had really been awake and was not under the influence of a dream. At other times, this lady saw other apparitions, such as a man she did not know, but one day she saw her brother, who was then in California. He had exactly his likeness, so that she was about to turn to speak to him, but he disappeared before she was able to. A letter afterwards received showed that he was not dead, so this lady was what may be called a natural seeing medium. Another lady in a country town was seriously ill. One night, about 10 o'clock in her bedroom, she saw an old gentleman who lived in the same town, who she sometimes met, but she was only slightly acquainted to. He was sitting in an armchair at the foot of her bed. He took from time to time a pinch of tobacco snuff, and looked as if he were watching her. Surprised at such a visit at such an hour, she was about to ask him the motive of his coming, but he made a sign to her not to speak, and to go to sleep. Several times she was about to speak to him, but each time he renewed the signal, and at last she fell asleep. Some day after recuperating from her illness, she received a visit from the same gentleman, but at a more suitable hour, and this time it was really as before, and in the manner as before. She thanked him on the street for his kindness in coming to her, but he was much surprised. He told her that he had not had the pleasure of seeing her for such a long time. This lady was cognizant of spirit phenomenon, so she knew what had happened, but cared not to enter into an explanation of the matter to him, contented herself with saying that she had probably been dreaming. As was no doubt the case, the incredulous will say. But it's certain that this lady was not asleep, no more than the first one mentioned. But we must add that during earth life the spirit is never completely detached from the body. Spirits, as well as seeing mediums, perceive the spirit when away from the body is united to it by a luminous trail, which never occurs when the body is dead, for then the separation is complete. It is by this channel of communication that the spirit is instantly informed, however far away it may be, the need of which the body has as its presence, and then returns to the body with the swiftness of lightning. It follows, therefore, that the body can never die during the spirit's absence, and that the spirit, on his return, can never find the door of his fleshly habitation or body closed against him, as some have pretended. So this is talking about the cord, the spirit cord, that some people say is from our abdomen to our spirit body. I've never seen it. But some people have warned against dream walking, etc., saying that you can get trapped and you can't make your way back to your body, etc. But they're denying that this is a reality. I'd say I agree with this book as long as you have your full faculties of your mind. If for some reason you had amnesia of yourself or of your body, then you cannot think for it to return, I guess, to yourself. A spirit of a person in the flesh, when partially disengaged from the body, for example, astral projection, possibly in meditation, dream walking, is similar to someone who has departed this life or died. And so it's what they call doubles. People who have been seen in two different places. And there's examples of people, St. Anthony of Padua, who was in Spain and was preaching, and I guess people saw him in another place and time. They're saying that this has happened during crimes. People have seen somebody somewhere, but then it's proven that they have an alibi, that they were actually somewhere else. It's saying that your spirit or your soul does not divide itself, like it doesn't make a bunch of replications that go in different directions or anything like that. But that it can project in several places at once, sort of like the sun, I guess, stays in one place, but rays of light can go many different places. Also, if your spirit gets too close to your body, you automatically sort of re-enter. Your spirit body re-enters or sort of rejoins your physical body. Saying that one could be an appearance somewhere, could be a person's physical body, but then someone's elsewhere maybe only saw their spirit body. And that before your physical body dies, say your spirit body was somewhere else, it would get sucked back in an instant before, again, more permanent separation. They're saying that you cannot kill the spirit body because it's not physical, so it can't have a physical death. It just says that it would instantly disappear if anybody tried to kill it. Like it's immaterial, and it sort of can be formed, reformed, etc. It gets tricky though. That gets tricky into what happens to that energy, and your energy body can affect your physical body. They've weighed people when they've been in spirit possession, I guess, and they found that they actually weigh more, like that even though this energy is immaterial, that it has a material quality. Sort of like weighing people before they die and like right after they die, like what is the weight of a spirit or soul. There is a molecular weight to it. And so they're saying this lady was possessed by her dead brother. She took on the appearance of her brother. She had strength like he had, and in the state her weight was almost doubled. And how people's appearance can change when they're under the influence of a spirit. For example, a woman can appear young or old, handsome or plain, but she will still appear as a woman, and she will not increase or diminish, possibly in weight, but in appearance. Temporarily visible, tangible, but yet consequently opacity, or so opaque means you can see through something somewhat. And so fluidic, changeable, sort of like when you see something out of the corner of your eye, or say you've had something like a hat rack in the corner of your room with coats. It looks like there's somebody standing there. And maybe you think, oh, that's just the way that the coats were, but they can kind of take over certain, I say objects, or in this way they're talking about people's appearances, radiating around the body like a vapor, separate from the physical body, but envelops it. And then this fluidic energy undergoes modifications or changes and can appear less transparent, or the energy then can become invisible but still be present there. And they're now talking about a mist, and mist is important. It can become luminous, like energy, if it is the power and will of the spirit. So the intrinsic weight of the young lady was not changed, but because there was no change in her matter of her physical body, but under control of this additional energy. But then they're saying that the apparent weight could then also lighten too, if it was say, the spirit of a little girl, and then you weighed her, somehow it could make her weigh less, which is interesting. Maybe it's affected on gravity, right? And they can also make a body appear to assume any other appearance. This is why spirits can change their appearance to look like whatever they want. They can make someone look small or large. And they've taken a lot of spirit photographs. But only apparently so. So it's not like they shrink a human being to look smaller. It's that they appear smaller somehow through this energy put on top of, I guess, kind of like a cloak, like on top of, say, a medium. So this is really important when you're doing discernment of spirit, is that you can't just rely on one piece of evidence, such as a visual appearance or a name, etc.